Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivana Dari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivana Dari Sodanandana Bhajajana Ranjana Yasodana Jasodanandana Bhajajana Ranjana Yasodana Jamuna Dhiravana Charina Jamuna Dhiravana Charinati Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Janavishta Padpurna Mahanksa Parijakacharya Astados Shishimat His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhakti Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Gaura Vaishnava Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Prem Sri Gaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasati Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Vijaya Radha Krishna Gopya Samakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Ki Jai, Shri Maya Punavidam Ki Jai, Gangamai Ki Jai, Jamunamai Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Go Premanandi, all glories some of the devotees, all glories some of the devotees, all glories to some of the devotees, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this morning we're reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 27, Text number 23. Tato Vihatta Sankalpa Kunyaka Yavaneswaram Mayo Padishtam Asadya Bhavre Namna Bhayam Patim Tato Vihatta Sankalpa Kunyaka Yavaneswaram Mayo Padishtam Asadya Bharve namna bhayam patim tato vihata sankalpa kanyaka yavaneshwaram mayopadishtam asadya Bharve namna bhayam patim. Bharve namna. Oh, it's nam, not na. It's okay. Vavre namna vayam patim. Mataji. Tato vihata sankalpa kanyakaya vaneshwaram mayopadishtam asadya Tata. Thereafter, Vihata sankalpa, being disappointed in her determination. Kanyaka, the daughter of time. Yavana Ishwaram, unto the king of the untouchables. Maya upadishtam, indicated by me. Asadya, having approached. Vavre, accepted. Namna, of the name. Bhayam, fear. Patim, as her husband. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. After she was thus disappointed by me, with my permission, she approached the king of the Yavanas, whose name was Bhaya, or fear, and she accepted him as her husband. Purport. Being the most perfect Vaishnava, Sri Narada Muni is always willing to do good to others, even to one who curses him. Although Kalakanya, the daughter of time, was refused by Narada Muni, she was given a shelter. Now, of course, no one could give her shelter, but a Vaishnava gives shelter somewhere to such an unfortunate girl. When Jara, or old age, attacks, everyone dwindles and deteriorates. In one stroke, Narada Muni gave shelter to Kalakanya and counteract the ordinary karmis. If one accepts the instructions of Narada Muni, the ocean of fear, Bhaya, can be very quickly removed by the grace of that great Vaishnava. Om Jnanatamandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshur Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Nama Mukham Kurtva Chalang Pongam Lankayate Gurim Yat Kripa Talaham Bande Shiguram Dinataranam Vanchakapa Tubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Jaivacha Putitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So she was disappointed. But then she got the mercy of Narada Muni and found a husband. So there's an abundance amount of disappointment in this world. Boys trying to have a relationship with girls, and girls trying to have a relationship with boys, and so much disappointment, to the point where sometimes there's violence or even murder. Yeah, unfortunately, it's age of Kali. So, but if one surrenders to Krishna, no disappointment. One won't be disappointed if one surrenders to Krishna, because Krishna, He's the perfect, most wonderful personality. Yet the reason there's so much disappointment in material relationships is because we're conditioned souls. We have so many flaws. Yeah. But Krishna, He's the perfect personality of God, and the closer we get to Krishna, the more we also get purified and perfect our lives. So, better to focus our attention on Krishna as much as possible. Otherwise, it's inevitable that there's disappointment in the relationship of this world. Sometimes there's also disappointments in pure devotees. For instance, Sanatana Goswami, such a great Vaishnava, he went to Jagannath Puri to get the darshan of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And while he was traveling, he caught some disease. And there was blood, and it was coming from his body, and it's oozing from the pus, and oozing from his body. And so he finally made it to Jagannath Puri, and he went to where Haridas Thakur was staying. And Lord Chaitanya, he would come every day to see Haridas Thakur. So he went there, and Haridas Thakur paid obeisances, and Lord Chaitanya would embraced him, and oh, Lord Chaitanya, Sanatana Goswami is here. Oh, Sanatana Goswami. It's described, he was surprised, of course, Lord Chaitanya. He knew. So he went to embrace him, and Sanatana Goswami was like, no, my Lord, please, don't touch me. I have all this disease. I'm oozing with blood and pus, and please. So Lord Chaitanya forcefully grabbed him and embraced him. See the love that Lord Chaitanya has, devotees. So he would come there daily. Lord Chaitanya would come there daily, and Sanatana Goswami, he would stay with Haridas Thakur. And at one point, Sanatana Goswami, he was so disappointed that first he has this disease, oozing sore, and Lord Chaitanya is coming and embracing him, and he's born from, he actually is born in a good family, but he became outcast because he was working with the Muslims for many years. Actually, a lot of devotees don't know how that happened, but he was actually, him and Rupa Goswami, they were blackmailed by the Qazi there. And if you don't, who is it? Nawab Hussain Sheikh. That if you don't come and do service under me, then I'm going to harass the Brahmanas like you wouldn't believe. So he didn't want the devotees to be disturbed. So they both went there and served under the Muslims, but they were ostracized from the Brahmana community because they're associated with Muslims, working with the Muslims. So he was lamenting, disappointed that he couldn't serve Krishna nicely, and Lord Chaitanya is coming and embracing him. So he actually wanted to commit suicide. And how? He's going to throw his body before the Jagannath cart. This way, go back home. It's said that happens if you do that. Believe it or not, in Melbourne, about 30 years ago, one lady, Indian lady, did that. Threw herself in front of the cart, left her body under the wheel. For 10 years, there was no Rath Yatra in Melbourne because of that. Yeah, they took that pretty seriously. She went back home though. So it's happy ending. Now they're doing Rath Yatra. I don't know actually now because of the COVID. They're probably not, but they've been doing it for the past 15 years. So finally, they let them do it again. So that was Sanatana Goswami's determination because of the circumstance he was in. So one day, Lord Chaitanya came and said, Sanatana, you can't give up your body. It's not your body. You surrendered to me. It's my body. You can't do things like that with somebody else's property. And he asked Haridas Thakur, what do you think of this? He's trying to kill somebody else's property. What do you think of this? So Haridas Thakur replied, that your pastimes are inconceivable, Lord Chaitanya. So Lord Chaitanya told Sanatana Goswami, there's so many services I want done through your body, or through my body, what you think is your body. So, give up this idea. And then there was, at one point, Lord Chaitanya, he was staying at some other place, and he told the devotees, call Sanatana Goswami. So Sanatana Goswami was so happy. He was so, Lord Chaitanya is calling me. So he went to where Lord Chaitanya was, and he was walking on hot sand. That was the quickest way to get to Lord Chaitanya. So when he arrived there, Lord Chaitanya asked him, how did you get here? Oh, I came along the beach there on the sand. But the sand is very hot. You must have blisters. Oh yeah, I didn't notice. I was just so happy I get to see you. You called me. So, well, why didn't you go the other way, by the temple? It's much cooler. The ground's cooler. Oh, if I would have touched one of the pujaris there, I would have been finished. I didn't want to go around the temple. So Lord Chaitanya was just so pleased with his attitude that he embraced him. And all the disease left. Like that, Vasudeva, the leper, same thing, right? And he had a golden body, like Lord Chaitanya's. Yeah, amazing, huh? So Haridas Thakur and Sanatana Goswami, they're so ecstatic seeing these pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So there's a saying that disappointment gives rise to the highest satisfaction. Yeah. In Bengali, isn't it? Is it Bengali statement? I forgot. Anyway, so, and sometimes we also may feel, I'm a little disappointed that I'm not so surrendered to Krishna. And we might lament. Actually, Prabhupada said, lamentation means purification. Yeah. So, yeah, we shouldn't be disappointed. Continue on in our service to Krishna. And actually, if we do think that we're advancing, or I've become an advanced devotee now, you got a problem. Because a devotee doesn't think he's advanced. The devotee doesn't even think he's a devotee. It's like one devotee wrote a nice poem to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada appreciated the poem so much. But there was one little flaw in it. He wrote to this devotee and said, nice poem, very nice poem, but in the poem you say that you're a devotee of Krishna. Devotees don't think they're devotees of Krishna. They're trying to become, or aspiring to become, devotee of Krishna. And Prabhupada said it's not easy to be a devotee of Krishna. And a devotee doesn't think that he's a devotee. So, believe it or not, even the gopis were sometimes disappointed. Like Krishna called them in the dead of night, playing the flute, and they were so happy. They went to the place where Krishna is playing the flute, so happy they're going to dance with Krishna. So they go there, and Krishna says, "Well, what are you girls doing here? It's so late at night. Yes, dangerous animals here. You should go home. Go home." And it's described that they were rubbing their toes on the sand, disappointed. How could he say this? And they even said, "Krishna, only you can speak like this. Here we are, the most beautiful girls on the planet practically, and you're telling us to go home." So they were disappointed. And then Krishna said, "Okay, come on, let's dance." The rasa dance. And Radharani, she was so disappointed one time because Krishna wasn't there. She said, "Well, what is the use of my eyes? Better I'm blind. What is the use of my ears if I can't hear the glories of Krishna? If I can't hear the name of Krishna, better I'm deaf." Even Radharani is feeling disappointment. And there's an interesting pastime of Srila Prabhupada. This is in 1970, when Prabhupada had gone back to India. Krishna called him back to India, and he wanted to, and he did. There was a big tour of devotees, maybe about 30 devotees, something like that. They were traveling around India, and they got to Madras. And the one minister was so fond of the devotees, so impressed with the devotees, and with, of course, with Srila Prabhupada. They let him stay in his house. He had a big house, so he let them stay in one of the flats. Maybe 5 rooms or something. All the devotees are staying on one of the levels there. And he was very fond of this little Saraswati. So he got a little Krishna Murti, silver Krishna Murti, for her. And she was very happy. She's a good devotee, nice little devotee. She would dance in the kirtans when they'd have these big pandals, and the Indians would just go nuts. 5-year-old blonde-haired girl. They probably never seen anybody with blonde hair before. What to speak of a little girl dancing. So they were all very fond of her. So he got this murti for her. And she was very happy with that. But she's a little child, so she put the murti down and she went playing in the house there. And Prabhupada told the man that it's very nice that you've given this murti, but it's expensive. She's a little girl, she'll probably lose it somewhere. Do you have anything less expensive? He said, yes, I have. So he went to get this murti and took the silver. So she came back looking for her murti. It wasn't where she put it. Huh? She was looking for the murti for Krishna, yeah. So she came back and she didn't see it there, and she said, "Hey, where's Krishna? Where's the Krishna murti?" And Prabhupada caught her mood immediately. Well, maybe he's in the bedroom. Maybe someone put him in the bedroom. Go check him. So she darted into the bedroom, and she's looking around the bedroom. Going, "No, Prabhupada, it's not there. Oh, check the other room there." So she ran in there, and she's looking all around for Krishna. And Prabhupada said, "Well, check the kitchen. Maybe he's in the kitchen." So she ran, and she's looking all over, and she's in anxiety now, and she's practically in tears. Where's Krishna? And then Prabhupada started chanting this verse, "Hey Radhe Vrajit Devi Ke Chilalite, Hey Nanda Suno Kuta." At the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, they were going all around Vrindavan and saying, "Where is Srimati Radharani, the daughter of King Vrishabhanu? Where is Krishna, the son of Maharaj Nanda? Where is Lalita? Where is Visakha? Are they on Govardhan Hill or in the bank of the Jamuna? Where are they?" So she had this move, where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? And finally the father, Shyamasundar, said to her, Saraswati, who has Krishna? And then it dawned on her, Prabhupada has Krishna. So she paid obeisance to Prabhupada. And, Prabhupada, you have Krishna? Yes, I have Krishna. So then, by then the man had come back with another murti, one of these clay, colorful murtis of Krishna. So he gave Krishna to her. Although it was different, still it was Krishna, so she was happy. She didn't say, hey, wait, what happened to the other one? She was happy. So disappointment gives rise to the highest satisfaction. So she was very happy. So here it's interesting that Narada Muni, although he was cursed, it's mentioned he's because he's a great devotee. There's no envy. There's no envy there. Why? No false ego. There's no false ego. No envy. So he helped her. Yeah. And to get free of this envy, it's a great challenge. Yeah. The original envy is envy of Krishna. Yeah. We're envious of Krishna. Yeah. So to become free of this envy, it takes a great endeavor on our part. We have to, as it is said there, that Sanatana Goswami, he surrendered. So somehow we have to surrender to Krishna, and this is how to become free of this envy. And as soon as Prabhupada, I was just listening this morning, Prabhupada said, as soon as we become rebellious, we come under the clutches of Maya. And it happens, parents, when children are growing up, they become rebellious. I know I became rebellious. Yeah, anybody here? I think everybody becomes rebellious when you're growing up. Yeah, so we did that. We became rebellious to our Father, our eternal Father. So now we're trying to correct ourselves, by again serving Him. So sometimes people become so rebellious that they start thinking that they are God. One time Prabhupada was giving a lecture and I think it was in Scotland. And it was an open lecture, it was a public lecture. A lot of people, about 500 people, devotees got a lot of people to come. And Prabhupada was speaking about how by devoting oneself to God, then we advance in life. We become dear to God. And one person, after Prabhupada finished the lecture, he asked for questions. One person came down, he had this black coat on. And he started talking, and talking, and talking, and talking. And finally he said, I am God. Prabhupada sat up straight. You are not God. You are dog. Just the opposite. And then he asked him, do you know what it means to be God? God means the controller. Are you the controller? They say, well, yeah, I control some, yeah. Well, God is the supreme controller. Are you the supreme controller? No, you're controlled in so many ways. You're controlled by disease, death, old age. So many ways you're controlled. So this is not God. Don't think you are God. Then he had nothing to say. And he turned around and walked back to his seat, and there was a standing ovation. Everybody stood up and clapped. And Prabhupada appreciated that of the people. They appreciated that this person was smashed, defeated. People in Scotland, England, religious people, at least back then, not so much now. They're becoming more and more atheists, but Prabhupada was impressed. So to get free of this envy, we have to somehow surrender to Krishna. But this is everyone. Icha dvaisa samuthena dvandamohena bharata sarvutani samoha sarvyanti parantapa. That all living angels are born into delusion, bewildered by the dualities arising from desire and hate. Yeah. So we're trying to change our desire from matter, and trying to enjoy matter, to serving Krishna. And when we do, when we're serving Krishna, then we're free of this disease. Yeah? Just like my finger. This finger is healthy now, so it does service for me. Yeah? But if it becomes diseased, then it's a disturbance. I mean, I have to. All my actions have to change because you can't bump it or anything. You have to bump it or you do anything, then it causes pain. So we're all part of Krishna. So if we serve Krishna, then we're healthy. Then we're healthy. But as long as we're trying to enjoy, we want to serve Maya, then no. That's diseased. Now, some of us, we have one eye on Krishna and one eye on Maya. Still trying to surrender. So the goal is to just have both eyes on Krishna, no more Maya. No more Maya. But we have to be, we have to be very determined to surrender to Krishna. And the more we surrender, the more we become free of this envy. This envious attitude is compared to like a crow. Yeah? So Prabhupada said this process is to turn the crows into swans. Yeah. There was one person, he used to be a member of the Hells Angels back in the 70s. And somehow he became a devotee. And became a good devotee. He became the president of the Los Angeles Temple. He was a crow. He became a swan. He was a tough guy. So sometimes, just like here, sometimes they have wrestling. I've seen some wrestling going on here a little bit. Yeah. In Miami also, we used to do a little wrestling. So they were also wrestling. He would wrestle with the devotee. He was a tough guy. The only person he couldn't defeat, Jayananda. He couldn't defeat Jayananda. He said Jayananda was just solid muscle. He was so strong. He couldn't defeat Jayananda. It was hard to defeat him in devotion also. He's such a good devotee. So there's an example. And some of us here also, I could say for myself, I was a crow, trying to become, trying to get some swan feathers on me. There are a lot of crow feathers still there, trying to get a couple of swan feathers there. And there was another devotee, she was a big atheist, and she used to preach atheism. She grew up in an atheistic family, and she was just full-on atheism and would preach it. But then her fiancé became a devotee. Yadubar. Became a devotee. He's sending all these letters to her, like, this person's amazing. This Swami's just like, I fell in love with him. Just like, so she wanted to meet this person. There's so much glorification. So she went to India and she was captured. And then Prabhupada found out that she was an atheist previously. And he asked her, how did you become a devotee? You were an atheist. And she replied, your mercy, Prabhupada. You captured me. And she's one of our best female preachers. I mean, there's only a couple of devotees, female devotees that I've seen preach at the Bhagavatam class in Mayapur during the festival. She was one of them. And that other lady, one of the ladies one of the teachers, I forgot her name. Urmila, and then so there's three. There's another lady also. Oh yeah, Rukmini. So there's a few, but she's one of the top preachers now. It's amazing. Huh? Yeah, she's the temple president now in the manor, right? And she must be 70 now or something. Very qualified. Yeah. So, yeah, this is what we're doing. We're trying to get purified. So we give up all these crow feathers. Yeah. Give up this desire to be the enjoyer, to be the proprietor. Yeah. But to be the servant of Krishna. So Prabhupada mentions in the purport that by devoting oneself to a great devotee such as Narada Muni, one becomes free of this ocean of fear. Interesting, this ocean of fear. It's like now there's so much fear, and it's like today is the last day for election, right? And half the country is afraid that one's going to be president, and the other half's afraid that the other one's going to be president. There's fear there, and then on top of that we got the disease, and COVID. There's a lot of fear going around, at least in this country. It's all over the world. Yeah, it's all over the world. Yeah, fear. It's bhaya. So one of the great fears is old age, jara. So jara, married, fear. Jara, old age. People don't want this. I had one friend, whenever a gray hair would come up, pluck it out. Yeah. Don't like that. Yeah. Now they have this, they take shots to get rid of the wrinkles. Yeah. Yeah, what do they call it? Yeah. No, so nobody wants to get old. Oh yeah, it's poison, huh? Yeah. So they can try but so hard to avoid looking old, but try to do it when you're 90, 85. No matter how many shots you take, it's not going to work. So you can't avoid. Of course, some people. I met one student. He said he's gonna commit suicide at 35. I said, "What are you gonna do that for?" He said, "After 35, there's no enjoyment. There's no happiness." I said, "Well, how do you know?" You haven't been 35 yet. Sometimes the best years of people's lives are after 35.
What did he say?
So he just said, "Nah, there's no happiness there." So, and people, they get so much. It's like I have a friend in L.A. He has a house in a protected area. You can't just drive in. You have to have a card. You can't. There's a booth there, and the people there, huh? Gated community. So he was there, and one of his neighbors there was a burglary, and the guy broke into the house and harassed the lady. Didn't kill her, but he beat her and took valuables, and that's a home invasion. Okay, so then they had a meeting, a village meeting, you could say, what to do. So the person in charge giving advice about how to avoid burglary and home invasion and all that. He said, if you want to avoid being burglarized, get a dog. So he's got a dog now. So yeah, people they're afraid. There's so many thieves. Even in some places, there's so much poverty because of the situation. Even doctors become thieves. In Brazil, I heard. It's like crazy times. Yeah. So there's so much fear, anxiety. So a devotee is fearless, but at the same time, he has fear. And Prabhupada said, "There's my disciples. They have two diseases. Anybody know what they are?" Not enough afraid of Maya. Of course, I already gave that away. Not enough afraid of Maya, and? Huh? Yeah, changing things. They like to change things. Yeah. They like to change things. So this is the two diseases that my disciples experience. So we should avoid these. You know. We should have a firm fear, actually, of Maya. And we shouldn't change anything. Prabhupada set everything up so nicely. It's like there was one devotee, he was lamenting, you know, he was disappointed that, you know, I'm not advanced, don't feel like I'm advancing. He was lamenting. I said, no, that's good. That's actually good feeling that you have, you know. And don't worry, if you just follow what Prabhupada has established, just follow what he's doing or what he's established, then you'll advance. Don't worry. Just follow the 4 Leader principles. You chant 16 rounds a day, and Krishna will help you. You'll get purified. Don't worry. So he was happy with that. So yeah, we just have to continue on. Hope for the best. You know, try our best. Hope for the best, and be prepared for the worst. So, is there any question or comment?
Thank you, Prabhu. Could you explain to me the next to the last line in the purport? If it says, in one stroke Narada Muni gave shelter to Kalakanya and counteracted the ordinary karmis. You know what Srila Prabhupada's?
In one stroke Narada Muni gave shelter to Kalakanya and counteracted the ordinary karmis. Well, an ordinary karmi, when an ordinary karmi is cursed, they get real upset. Like if someone blasphemes someone, cusses someone, so they get really upset. So Narada Muni, he didn't get upset. So he counteracted the general tendency of an ordinary karmi. You know, a devotee is completely transcendental. He just, no problem. There was one time where Prabhupada was giving a lecture, and one Indian man stood up at the end of the lecture and challenged Prabhupada. Why are you bringing this? This is a Christian country. We don't need this Hindu stuff here. Why are you disturbing things here? Devotees were like, they're ready to get up and pull him, out and just, what do you? And he was someone who visited the temple sometimes, and devotees were really upset. And Prabhupada, just took it calmly and he said, I'm not trying to change anyone's beliefs, but I'm offering something more about God. There's always more to learn about God. And Prabhupada, he answered his challenge very nicely and kind of smoothed it down. But after the lecture, the devotees were talking to Prabhupada. We're so surprised. He comes to the temple. We thought he was our friend. And Prabhupada said, I must have offended him in a past life or something. But the devotee is very humble. Didn't take offense. Just continued on in his service. So not like an ordinary karmi. Like even sometimes, like the other day, someone, actually he blasphemed the books, and I got upset. I didn't say anything to him. But we should. But if someone blasphemes us, not a problem. Because who are we, anyway? So Prabhupada is very humble, like that. The devotee is very humble. Not like the ordinary karmis.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes, Prabhu.
So Prabhu is like...
Take your mask off, it's okay.
Kala Krishna, or like hear about Kalakanya is allegory or like Kala, the time.
Yeah.
Is it Krishna in this allegory or like?
Well, Kalakanya is Jara, as far as I know. That's Jara,
But the
old age.
father of Jara is Kala, right?
Kala.
So is Kala, like we hear in the Bhagavad Gita, Kala is Krishna, or how does it? Not here. Just an allegory, or
Well, it's not that because, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says,
Time I am.
there's time, the concept here.
This is different. Yeah, this is. Yeah. You had a question? No. Okay. Okay. Anything else? Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki? Jai.
I guess not. But I always thought it was saying that at the same time, Narayana puts a bridge of Winston because on one hand he gives shelter to Ra, but on the other hand also she passes him on. In the allegory sense, passes her on as a way that she, to be